Good morning. Um, Noticed I'm fully zipped today because it's actually quite cold, and I'm wearing shorts because once I switch over to shorts for the spring, then I'm in shorts. Um, you know, Looking at the weather ahead of time is too much work. I get into a mode and you know, I like going on autopilot basically. Um, yeah, so I'm probably going to be a little bit cold and wet today. I do have my towel that you need um, if you're going to be working rain adjacent and you don't have your rubber duckies and your rain slicker on or your poncho or whatever it may be. So I've been watching these videos a little bit, not just as I upload them, and I'm realizing I'm getting a lot of ums and uhs in there. I'm not talking very coherently with anything. Obviously, I'm rambling, going from topic to topic to topic. It's a larger it's larger issues that I'm dealing with than just trying to make these videos. This is actually where I work it out in the morning before I go to work. Part of it is that I have to keep talking and be slightly entertaining if I want to develop this into anything further. But right now I'm still just talking to myself. There is no views on the videos. There's a smattering of 3, 4, 5, maybe there might be like 7 views on one or something, but that might have already gone down. It doesn't matter because I've decided that that's not the point of these videos. The point is to get to a point, to have some sort of revelation by recapitulating events in my life, thoughts, musings, talking to myself, getting the gears going and the wheels turning. And it forces me to think about stuff. I don't want to just sit here and complain and tell you all my problems. But I also have my own perspective, which is not completely unique. Everyone has their own perspective that is unique. But the idea that it is relatable and all-encompassing with the human experience is what I'm going for in these videos, is to be relatable and to hopefully, I don't know if going specific is better or being generalized is better. It doesn't really matter because nobody's watching. So, and I'm self-defeating myself with these thoughts, and the more that I hem and haw, the less I'm getting into the actual nitty gritty. So let's get into the nitty gritty. Weed, the phone, distractions, sin, things that you want to get out of your life, desires that you want to have control over. This is the stuff that everyone's wrestling with. Getting the ums out, getting the uhs out. It's a struggle. If you consciously think not to say the ums and the uhs, you give yourself a little pause like I just did. If you don't, you'll just ramble, which is fine, because no one's listening again. That's not true. Someone is listening, whether it be myself or a random person out there or the YouTube algorithm, AI or whatever it is. Back to the point of getting clean, purified, getting your thoughts back, getting your dreams back. The algorithm has been feeding me, because I've been watching people who are quitting weed or have quit weed recently. And I've seen people who have just quit within the last month or few days. I've seen people who've been off it for years. They all have similar stories where I can relate with a lot of what they're saying. And I have my own struggle with mediocrity, accepting mediocrity. I'll just repeat every time I say to double down on it. Mediocrity is not the middle path. Being just being a good person, and it takes more than being a good person is a discipline in and of itself. And how good of a person you want to be. I'm really annoying myself today. I didn't really want to do this video because I'm trying to put things in perspective for myself, and sometimes it's painful to admit to yourself that you've been fucking up over and over and over again, and your judgment is cloudy, your view on the world is skewed. You're crazy. You've gone nuts because you've overindulged, and maybe your mind's messed up, your chemistry's off. You don't really know how your desires are affecting you, what your true potential is. I've gone through this, and I've dealt with depression, and I've dealt with, the shame and the guilt and the isolation and the paranoia, the social anxiety, which is that used to be at the top of my list. Now I realize certain situations where I'm not going to enjoy it, and I think that's how the majority of people deal with social anxiety, is they try to find comfortable spaces and experiences, and the ones that they learn are uncomfortable, they can just avoid those. With weed, it elevates that social anxiety and makes you search for your comfort zone. The one video I saw, the guy was saying that it is like a comfortable blanket of mediocrity that you put on yourself. And I think that's accurate. I worry about myself and my pursuits and what I would do. How much more would I alienate myself, or am I holding myself back? Because I don't really want to live in the extremes, and I know you don't have to. I know this is all, we have free will. I do believe that. I think there's a restriction on the amount of free will, and I think there's a mechanism that limits your possibility and limits your potential if you go in that direction. So I'm afraid the fear is a fear of myself, a fear of my own discontentment, and I'm really getting frustrated with this one because I'm confronting something. I'm trying to confront something. And I'm trying to be honest with myself, trying to be honest with the universe and with anyone who tunes in. And with weed, it's very specific the way that these videos come across, the way that people treat weed. They treat it with kid gloves. Some people will, and I just don't tune in usually, is when they just villainize weed as this awful thing, because people will say, and this is what I mean with the kid gloves, is that they will say how weed is all these negative things and it's the cons have outweighed the pros for them. It's no longer serving them, or however they want to put it. And they always come off with this disclaimer that they're not trying to be pushy. And a lot of them might have a religious twinge to it. And they still have this thing where, go ahead if you're not, if it's right for you type of thing, if it still works for you, I'm not trying to be pushy. There's that type of thing where and I've noticed it with pot, and maybe it's the algorithm again serving me what I can accept at this moment. Because I don't see a lot of hardline people where it's like, you gotta stop smoking weed. Like, there's a couple people. Sam Hyde is one person that is kind of hard-lined on just smoking the weed thing, but he also has friends that smoke weed. He knows a lot of people who smoke weed. Seems like the majority of the people in his circle partake on occasion, or maybe he's convinced them to stop. I'm off on a Sam Hyde tangent because I think Sam Hyde is actually some sort of counterintelligence operation at this point. He's just stirring the pot. I think that he may have good intentions. I think that he is an intelligent person, but I also think the jumping from trolling people to, I have a serious point to make here, but I'm also going to completely just bypass that by being sarcastic and not letting you really know that it's all a joke, and I'm in on the joke, actually. And if he created some sort of honeypot for people, I wouldn't be surprised. But that's just my opinion. I see when people blow up, and I see little things here and there. So I'm off on a Sam Hyde tangent. No one needs to follow Sam Hyde or look him up or care about what he does. If you like Sam Hyde, then that's cool. I have an appreciation for him, but the more success that he gets, the more cracks that I see. And I understand that he's trying to play the game to remain relevant and to have his platform and stuff like that. I gotta stop talking about Sam Hyde. This is all my judgment on people where It's the same judgment that I have on myself, where to be great, to do things in this world, to have the glory, to have all this stuff, you really have to carve away, or else you're going to be in another trap. You're in YouTube or you're in any of these things, and you have to play by their rules, and that makes you a hypocrite to a certain extent. And me doing this is hypocritical to a certain extent. I've explained myself and reasoned away why I'm doing these videos and talking to myself, but it really is working through this stuff. So the idea is that I'm afraid of my potential and where my mind would rest when I don't have all these thoughts pervading. And would it be isolating? Would I isolate myself further? Because I've quit weed before, but I also went very religious. And that drove a wedge that isolated me from a lot of my friends. I basically lost a lot of friends. I've been able to gain them back, but that's only because I have kind of dropped the religious dressing. And I no longer try to have that be my focus. So, and I've gone back to my old ways in a sense of doing the rock and roll thing, and I have no illusions about it that it's going to amount to anything. And I wonder if it's ultimately, if it's a distraction, if it's a poor judgment call to engage in it at all. There's a sense that I love working on music, and I love creating the art and working in different genres of music creation, but I haven't mastered anything. I have a sense of mastery as far as crafting songs and lyrics, but I'm no master. I can do it. I can cobble together a song, or I can focus in on an idea and find a theme and come up with something that's relevant to people. But at this day and age, that's becoming less and less valuable by the day with streaming and AI and yada, yada, yada. So my purpose becomes less and less valuable and tangible in a real world sense of providing and having an impact and making an impression on people. So my pursuits early on would have been, if I really gave it my all, I would have gone after rock and roll. I would have gone after being part of the music industry in some capacity. And part of it is laziness, part of it is smoking pot and getting into the comfort zone of the blanket of mediocrity. Part of it is that. But I also did try my best with a lot of my artistic pursuits and put my best foot forward while I was doing it. Because I put money into these things, and I've spent time and money and my love and passion and the stories. It's a cathartic type of therapy a lot of times to put things into a song and encapsulate them and be able to even express them to the people that maybe affected you. So there is a purpose to it emotionally, and that's kind of my rationale for doing it. Is I'm serving my own emotional catharsis along with the people who are involved in the band and the music making. Would I enjoy it more? Would I be better at it if I wasn't smoking pot? Or would I just knock it off and just stop doing that? Because the rational thought is it's a trivial pursuit. And I'm really doing it for my own vanity if I'm really scrutinizing what it is, why I'm going after these things. But is it vanity? Is it all vanity, as what is it? Ecclesiastes or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. I haven't been in the Word. I haven't been in the Scripture. I haven't called it the Word in a long time. That was weird. I feel a pull towards Christianity, but I also feel this doubt and rejection. The other religions, they express things to me that are interesting, and they appear compatible with my theology, my own inner resonance. There's things that resonate as true, but Christianity has a hold on me, and I think that's true for a lot of people in the Western world. There's something to it, and there's something to it I don't like. It points to the fact that we are in need of a Savior and are broken, and the world is broken, and the religious the religious ideas are that you can't do it yourself, that Jesus has to do it for you. And I'm thinking you have to do it yourself, that Jesus can't do it for you, that he's made the path straight and shown you the way, but you must follow him. You have to take your own footsteps. It's not the one pair of footsteps in the sand. I don't even know how that weird thing goes, but I'm at work, guys. This has been a somber one, but I've kept my ums in check. All right. It's going to be all right, guys. Everything is going to be all right.